Cupcake, and I'm coming to you with an update. I am 14 months and about 3 weeks post-op vertical sleeve gastrectomy surgery, which is weight loss surgery. My highest recorded weight was 296. My weight when I started pursuing weight loss surgery was in the 260s. I had a 3-month supervised diet for my insurance. My weight day of surgery after the 3-month supervised diet and a 10-day 1,000-calorie diet was 234. And today I am 157.2 pounds. That is up a little bit for me, but I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it because I haven't used the bathroom yet, and also because I've been eating edible cookie dough for the last few nights for dessert. We have an edible cookie dough place. They use heat treated flour, and so it's okay to eat, and they don't use eggs. And so we will get edible cookie dough like once a month, maybe twice if they have a new flavor that we want to try. And we got that this week. We went out to dinner with my brother-in-law and grabbed some cookie dough and stuff. So usually when I go, I will get 2 containers of cookie dough, and like sometimes I can eat a whole container of it. I don't know how many ounces it is, but yeah, other times, well, if I can eat a whole thing of it, usually I'm gonna get like dumping syndrome afterwards. And I always thought dumping syndrome meant that you get like diarrhea or you throw up or something like that. But doing some reading, I've discovered that a lot of, like, I don't have it all the time. It depends on what I eat, but I definitely have given myself dumping syndrome. I mean, I don't know if you could, I gave it to myself. I ate things that caused me, you know, in a certain amount or in an excess that caused me to have those symptoms. Basically for me, it kind of ranges. Like my stomach might just be a little upset, but not to the point where like I need to use the bathroom or that I'm gonna throw up or anything. Although there have been a few times where I have gotten pretty nauseous, and usually what ends up happening, because I haven't thrown up since surgery, is that I will fall asleep rather than deal with the pain and like the uncomfortableness. I'll fall asleep. So yeah, my stomach will be upset, or I will get really dizzy. My heart like will pound. So there's lots of different things that can happen during dumping syndrome, and it usually is if I eat an excess of sugar. So obviously I never had that issue prior to having weight loss surgery, but it is something that happens sometimes. So anyway, I have had cookie dough, edible cookie dough, a few nights this week, and so I know that in combination with not having used the bathroom are why my weight is up. When I did weigh myself this week, I was like 154, 155. So I know that as soon as I stop eating cookie dough, which last night was the last night I think I'm gonna eat cookie dough. We still have a little bit left over from what my husband didn't eat, but you know, I'm not gonna lie, I was tempted to eat it already this morning, but I told him last night, like, no more cookie dough for me for like a month, because yeah, I gave myself dumping syndrome and it was unpleasant. So anyway, so yeah, that's why my weight is up, but that's not really what I want to talk about, because like I said, as soon as I, you know, get back on track with my eating, then I will, you know, fluctuate and go back down a little bit. So Anyway, exercise wise, I didn't do a whole lot this week. I did go for a walk a couple of times on my lunch break, like for a mile walk. But the weather wasn't good. It wasn't really cooperating. So yeah. And then I didn't really do too much like working out in the mornings. I did have a couple of days where I did a little bit, but it hasn't been a whole lot. I've just not felt that great. Just feeling worn out and have like a lot of sinus stuff going on. So my husband's been feeling similarly, so we might just be sick, like have some kind of a low grade thing going on. So anyway, and yeah, we've just been overwhelmed and stressed out. Like work has been hard, and yeah, for both of us, it's been really hard. So yeah. Anyway, so some different things that I wanted to talk about. There's a couple of things I want to talk about that are weight loss related. Just things that I wasn't really expecting when I had weight loss surgery. And then I'll just give you like just a brief, not really, I don't know. This morning, just in case you're wondering, so far today I have had about 1.5 cups of almond cashew milk, unsweetened vanilla, and then a little package of like dried cranberries, cashews, and cheese. I showed them in my food haul. They're like 80 cents at Smith's, which is Kroger. So that's what I've eaten so far. Also, last night I did have some, we ate at this Mexican place near our house that we like, and I had like shredded beef nachos. Shredded beef taco salad. I just think nachos because like it's kind of different. The shell of the taco salad is kind of shaped like chips. But anyway, that was really good, and I still have leftovers, and so I'm gonna eat that in a little while, I think. But that's also probably why my weight is up a little bit, because yeah, I was eating that. But anyway, so far I've just had the cashew milk mixed with water and the cheese and cranberries and almonds, or cashews, I mean. So, yeah, did my grocery shopping online with Instacart. It took me a while last night to do that this time. I just wasn't really sure of all the things that I like wanted, and then just talking to my husband and finding out what he wants and whatnot. We won't really be going anywhere today just because there's the Salt Lake Marathon going on, and it's like blocking a lot of the streets, and that just doesn't sound like something that I want to deal with. Trying to get through the city with a whole bunch of streets closed off for the marathon, it really drives me insane. I wish they had like another place to run. I mean, we have like big parks and stuff like that. I just wish they would find another route or somewhere, you know what I mean, where people could run and that it wouldn't be, disrupting the flow of traffic in the city. So, yeah, this morning I was watching some videos on YouTube about anger management. I thought they were pretty good. I just feel like lately, and like normally, like I'm a very emotional person, and normally if I'm upset, like I will cry. I kind of cry a lot. But lately I feel more angry than sad, and it's not like making me feel great. So I decided to watch some anger management videos. So that was nice. I like to watch stuff like that that's helpful from time to time, especially if I'm not like in the best mood. Then I like to watch stuff like Crash Course or um, like TED Talks and stuff like that. And these I just Googled, or not Googled, I searched on YouTube anger management and found a couple of videos. Um, yeah. Anyway, let's see, what else did I want to talk about? Was there anything else I want to talk about besides like the weight loss stuff that I was thinking about today? I don't know. Anyway, so on the topic of like weight loss related things, things that I wasn't expecting to happen after weight loss surgery. One of them would be lately I've been dealing with some like I feel like it's kind of like hypoglycemia. Maybe I wasn't recognizing that I was kind of having those symptoms before. I don't really recall having those the same way before surgery, but I feel like if I don't eat every couple of hours that I don't feel well. Sometimes it's worse than others, but yeah, like sometimes I don't feel well. And then I also have gotten to the point lately where like I'll have been eating protein all day, you know, that's the main thing that I eat. But I'll just feel still sluggish, you know, and so at that point I've tried to give myself some carbs. You know, I do eat carbs like moderately throughout the day, but I'll try and have something that's kind of like carby. You know, I try to go with like healthier carbs, you know, I'm working on that, but yeah, sometimes you just need that quick result of energy from having some carbs, especially when all you've been eating is protein. So I've kind of noticed those things. As far as like what I feel when I'm getting like hypoglycemic, just tired, dizzy, just out of it, just really out of it. So yeah, I eat every couple of hours, which is not something I was really anticipating happening, and it's not something in the beginning that was a thing. Like when my stomach was still healing, you know, I didn't eat as often as I'm eating now, but yeah, I really don't feel well if I don't eat every couple of hours. So, you know, I think that everybody's going to be a little different on that. I've heard different things. You know, there's some people that are able to get away with just eating, you know, like a couple of times a day. There's other people that have several small meals a day, and that would be me. So that's just how I do it. I am eating between 1,600 and 2,000 calories a day, which I know sounds like a lot, especially for somebody who's not quite 15 months post-op. I know that seems like a lot, but when I like search how many calories I should be eating to maintain my weight, it's about 2,000 calories. So, you know, on some days I'll do a little bit of exercise and whatnot. So I think that's why I'm able to maintain my weight, is because I am eating between 16 and 2,000 calories. I'm not trying to lose weight at this point. I'm just trying to maintain my weight and also just like get more fit. But I'm not really looking to lose weight. I'm not looking to eat less at this point, because ultimately I'm gonna eat to feel good and to feel healthy, and it's not, in my opinion, worth it to eat less if it means that it's gonna affect the way that I feel. So I've seen things like people talking about things like, oh, it's fine you know, if I don't like that, I'm tired and I'm moody and stuff like that, because I'm still losing weight. And it's just like, I mean, I just feel like the most important thing is to feel good and feel healthy and feel um, nourished and all of those things. I think those are first and foremost, even over maintaining your weight, is how you're feeling. And so I am eating based on the way that I feel. Sometimes, yeah, that's not like a good thing, because sometimes I am emotional eating. Um, but I do try and listen to my body more, and just figure out what feels good, and go with that. So another thing that I wanted to mention, just kind of like an offshoot of that, is how I'm able to stay on track when I am on track, because I plan to be off track sometimes. I know if I'm going to eat cookie dough, like I'm going to go way over on the calories that I normally eat, and the carbs and stuff. And I'm not tracking right now, but how I handle it is, because I think my biggest issue is during the day when I'm at work, I tend to eat a lot more than if I'm at home, or like when I get home, I eat a lot during the day. And it probably has a lot to do with like just emotional stuff. I'm sitting at a computer, you know, I'm bored, I'm not happy, so I'm eating. And like I'll put together things that I'm wanting, you know, to eat that day in the morning. And I will just take like a rough count of how many calories I have there, and then just kind of play with it. All right, you know, this is a bit too many calories, because I like to stay around 1,000 calories while I'm at work. 1,000 calories, and then after that, and you know, dinner and dessert and whatever drinks I'm gonna have, which is basically just gonna be water and cashew milk. And the cashew milk doesn't have a lot of calories in it, so basically it's dinner and dessert that are going to fill up the rest of that calorie weigh. And it just differs a lot, because sometimes like we'll eat really, you know, pretty healthy dinners, and sometimes we will eat unhealthy dinners. Sometimes I'll have a lot of carbs and sometimes I won't. Sometimes it will be low calorie and sometimes it won't. So it just depends. But I try and stick around 1,000 calories while I'm going to be at work. And so I will, you know, I'll take this and put it back and add this or whatever. So I just try to have different things at home that I can play with to get to my numbers. But I don't focus too much on the numbers. It's just if I'm looking at what I have and I'm like, oh, I wonder how many calories this is going to be. Like, is this going to be a bit much, you know? So that's how I deal with, you know, with keeping on track but not tracking. Anyway, more about like things that I have like that I didn't anticipate when I had weight loss surgery would be period stuff. My period has been really irregular since I had weight loss surgery. It was pretty regular before. I have the Mirena, the IUD, and when I first got the Mirena, I had like really heavy bleeding for about 3 months, and then like hardly a period at all, which was really nice. But then when I had weight loss surgery, and since I had weight loss surgery, my periods have been just crazy. Like I did have some heavy bleeding for a while, and I got put on a second form of birth control, the Depo shot. And I don't feel that made like a huge difference for me. I think it was just more my body just kind of ended up regulating somewhat. I still spot like nearly every day. So basically it's a panty liner life for me. You know, I just buy like the Stay Free ones, or like I bought the Target brand ones recently. But yeah, I just put a panty liner, you know, I just use that every day, and most of the time that's sufficient. Some days are heavier, but most of the time I just need to keep a panty liner because, you know, nobody wants to keep having to buy new underwear all the time. So that's how I deal with it. It has tapered out some, but I still have like frequent spotting. So that is something that you should anticipate. For me, I feel like my periods are a lot harder on me, but at the same time, I think it's just that most of the time like how I feel, like my baseline of how I feel is just a lot better than it used to be. And so I notice a bigger difference now, just because like where I'm, you know, normally up here, like I might be down here, you know, when I'm on my period, as far as like my energy levels and my mood and stuff like that, where before I was just like maybe like here, and then my periods would be like here, so it wasn't like as much of a difference, if you get what I'm saying, as far as like I said, energy and mood levels. So I notice it more now, but my husband says that my behavior isn't like a whole lot different than it was, you know, before I had weight loss surgery. So for me, I just notice it more now. So that's something. Another thing, poop. Let's talk about poop. So, sorry, my belly's making noises. So like I had my gallbladder out like over 10 years ago. And just in case you haven't had your gallbladder out and you've had weight loss surgery, or, you know, I mean, a lot of people that have weight loss surgery end up having to have their gallbladder out later if they haven't already had it out. But I was having issues. I had gallstones. I didn't know that I had gallstones, but for a long time I was having pain under my breasts, like, and a full feeling, especially after I ate, and it was just really uncomfortable. And it got to the point where like my husband took me to the ER, and they had me my now husband, because we weren't married at the time, but well, yeah, they sent me for an ultrasound, and I had gallstones, and so I had my gallbladder out. And after that, like, I always had issues with diarrhea before that. Lots of foods would make me sick and give me diarrhea, but after I had my gallbladder out, it was a lot worse. It was like, I mean, the pain was resolved, which was nice, but things would just go like through me so much faster. And so yeah, that was not fun to deal with. Oddly enough, after I had weight loss surgery, I rarely get diarrhea anymore, like rarely. So I don't know what the big difference was, but I just rarely get diarrhea anymore. And like, I'm usually pretty regular. Occasionally I'll deal with constipation. Like right after surgery, it was a lot more of an issue, but now like I think that the way that I'm eating, and you know, I usually get plenty of fluids, I don't have an issue anymore. And I feel like I kind of have a little bit more of an iron stomach, you know. There's lots of things that like would have made me really sick in the past, where, you know, just like it may like make me very temporarily not feel great, but you know, it's not like the same urgency that I had to use the bathroom or anything before. So that's actually been like a really nice side effect for me. Now everybody is different, but for me that's been nice. So yeah, that was another thing that I wasn't really expecting after weight loss surgery. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that I can think of off the top of my head that were things that I was not anticipating. I've just kind of figured things out. I'm still figuring things out. You know, I still try and change up like my diet a bit. You know, like this week I ate pork rinds and tuna fish for lunch, and before that I was eating like P3s and stuff like that. I just ordered like, because I did my grocery shopping online through Instacart. I know I always talk about it, but I really, really enjoy it. But yeah, like I just got what was on sale. I got some like Rev wraps, and then they have these Sargento balance breaks, which I enjoy. They have a couple of new flavors, and so I got those as well. I'm hoping that they aren't like out of them, because that would be disappointing. But yeah, and then apparently, I didn't know, but this store has Enlightened. I searched it and I was pleasantly surprised to find out they have Enlightened, so that was good. But yeah, anyway, yeah, what my point is, like, I try and change up my diet, you know, and eat different things and not always eat the same thing, but there are certain things that I just really like and that just work for me, you know, like the protein shakes that I drink, you know, on a daily basis pretty much, the Advantage, the vanilla. Those are just something that makes sense to me. It's like people that have their protein coffee. I mean, this is my version of that. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I just drink those every day, and particularly that flavor because I like that flavor. Vanilla is just a very like neutral for me, where some people are like, you know, much more into like chocolate protein shakes or like the caramel ones or whatever, or like to try different flavors. Like I'm a vanilla girl. I like vanilla. So yeah, almond milk. I drink tons of almond milk like all the time. It's the unsweetened vanilla, whatever brand I end up getting that's on sale during that time. That's what I drink all the time with water, and I'm not sick of it. So, you know, occasionally I'll change it up a little bit and decide on something else. But other staples that I drink a lot of are like diet hot chocolate, whether it be like the fat-free or like they actually have a diet Swiss Miss that I've been getting that's like 25 calories, I think. So yeah, I'll drink that all the time. I'll drink like one packet a day, sometimes two, it just depends. I drink a lot of chamomile tea. Sometimes I'll drink mint tea, but I drink a lot of chamomile. I've been drinking a little bit of green tea lately at work, sometimes just like one in the afternoon. But yeah, I really don't do a lot of caffeine now. So yeah, those are staples for me. And then like meat, cheese, nuts, protein bars. Those are all things that I always eat. You know, and then the other things I just kind of change it up, and I change up what I'm eating within that group of things, you know, like just different protein sources. Sometimes, you know, we'll eat eggs. It just kind of what we're in the mood for. And you know, sometimes I'll eat more carbs. It just depends. So I just kind of change things up, and I think that that's kind of the way to go. But you know, you have to find what works for you, and I'm doing what works for me. So let's see, another thing that I never experienced before was like I can visibly see when I've eaten too much and when I'm bloated. Like the bloating is crazy. It's so crazy. Like my stomach will be distended. You know, I never ever noticed that before when I was a lot more overweight. Technically, I'm still considered overweight. I'm overweight by about like 10 pounds or something like that. But for my height, and just in case I didn't mention this before, but if you haven't watched my other videos, I'm 5'4.5", and I'm 32. I'm almost 33. So, but yeah, like my stomach will literally be distended when I'm bloated, which is just weird for me because I never noticed that before when I was overweight, like more overweight. You know what I mean? Before I had weight loss surgery, before I lost a significant amount of weight. Sorry, I'm just like all, like, my stomach's making all kinds of noises. That's something that definitely happens. You know, I've heard that a lot of people deal with that after weight loss surgery. All the noises and weird sensations and stuff like that. You just kind of get used to it. I have, you know, gotten used to it. I get hiccups a lot more, especially when I've eaten too much. I get hiccups. So, yeah. Anyway, I know this video is kind of just like all over the place. I wasn't like I had some idea what I want to talk about, but yeah, you can tell I'm a little bit scattered right now. Anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate it very much. Thank you to all the subscribers, new ones that have been there from the beginning, somewhere in between. I appreciate you guys very much. I hope you guys are doing well. I love interacting with you in the comments, so please feel free to leave me a comment if you are so inclined. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I will talk to you later.